Hello everyone, this is Jay at Inspiration Masters. As a part of our Inspiring Cities, we get an opportunity to make the difference makers, the entrepreneurs, the business owners, the artists who are making a difference not just in the Dallas-Fort Worth area but around the world. And today is no different. We have a great privilege and pleasure to invite here Mr. Ram Majji. Ram, welcome to Inspiration Masters.
Hey, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I'm glad you could find time to come and talk to us today. Ram is holding a master's in computer science, and he is a leader in the city of Frisco in setting an example for all of us. He's he's a part of the growing Indian community, and he heads the Frisco Indian Affairs Committee for the Mayor of Frisco. He serves on the City of Frisco Citizen Bond Committee and also serves as a co-vice chair on a very recent Frisco Resident for Public Education PAC. Ram is a business partner at a startup digital cloud technology product company called Autoboard. He's been married for 18 years and has 2 children who go to Frisco ISD. So welcome Ram to Inspiration, and we are really interested in a lot of things you do in Frisco. Especially you are going to explain and inspire us with all the activities you are doing in Frisco. So let's tell us something about what is it that it's making you to go in and get engaged, and why should everybody get engaged in the civic activities?
Sure, absolutely. First of all, again, thank you so much for the opportunity to come in and then talk to you all, and then try to see if we can make a difference to a lot of people who are living in Frisco or in Dallas or all over the United States. So coming back to the civic engagement, I feel that civic engagement is pretty important. So civic engagement has both political and non-political. On the political side, what we have done is, like, especially taking the City of Frisco, we had mostly like first generation immigrants, especially
right,
from the Indian community.
That's right.
And what we have observed is, like, there is a very less voter registration and also voting.
Okay,
So
yeah.
for what we have done is we took the task of one of the item was voter registration, and then also motivate people to come out for voting. So that is something we have done as a civic responsibility from a voting perspective, again related to the political stuff. And on the non-political side, what we have done is, because we are getting engaged in the City of Frisco very actively, meeting the city council, Frisco ISD officials and everything. Now, like, if there was a recent incident, like a traffic accident on one of the intersection,
Right.
and there are a lot of accidents happening, and then the general population did not knew how to take that approach and then take it to the higher official. So what we have done is, an example, we took that as one of the cause, and then we actually invited the Frisco police, the lieutenant, and the lieutenant would come in, and then we actually, kind of brainstorm, like, all the accidents which were happening on that. And also we did a study of last 7 years of how many accidents were happening. And when we shared that information with the Frisco PD, they came back with some of the immediate things to do. Like, for example, they have like regular patrol on that intersection, and then also they put like signs to slow down. So that actually kind of helped, like, people to ensure that, drive slow, and then also kind of reduce the accidents on that one. Another example is, recently there was a HOA, and a couple of HOA members, they did not knew how to work with the city, especially from a planning perspective.
Right.
So what we have done is we actually met with the HOA team, and then we actually introduced them to the city planners. And then now with the coordination of us, what they did is they actually have a budget to either build a clubhouse or a swimming pool or whatnot. So now, since we actually are very involved in the city, since our integration between the HOA and the city planning actually kind of happened, now they have a vision on what to do with the clubhouse. So that is one of those are the type of thing we are doing as a part of the civic involvement.
That is very good. So once people get involved, it's actually a part of being in a democracy, that
Correct.
you want to bring out people to come out and vote.
That's
And
correct.
once you bring people out, then there is a lot of possibilities which open up. So thank you for sharing that, and all of us learned something from this. Also, you are a part of the Frisco Mayor's Ad hoc Committee of Frisco Indian Affairs. if you can share some of the accomplishment of the committee and what is it that activities you do along with the mayor.
Sure, absolutely. First of all, I want to thank our Frisco mayor and the Frisco chief of staff for creating this Frisco Indian Affairs Committee.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of this committee is kind of like, helping the Indian community living in Frisco to communicate their message to the city and to the city mayor. So one of the major accomplishments we have done is, one of the popular thing which we actually set up in Frisco is called Chai with Shani.
Uh-huh.
And Shani is the Frisco mayor's last name.
Uh-huh.
So the Chai with Shani actually became very popular, and it's like a street style meet.
Uh-huh.
So what we do is like we actually take a cul-de-sac or a community,
Uh-huh.
and then we have like some high chairs, and then we have like chairs for all the people coming in. And then what is happening is, and then we have the chai and then all the
that sounds very
appetizers.
interesting. Yeah,
so,
okay.
so we have a lot of people coming out.
We're gonna find out the location. Okay, go
So-
for the chai. Okay.
At any point, we have like almost like 100 plus residents from that particular community come out. And then the whole idea is we bring in the Frisco mayor, we bring in the Frisco City Council, we have Frisco ISD officials coming out, and then we also have the Frisco Police and Fire join that.
Uh-huh.
So now the residents who are coming in there, they actually have a one-on-one or direct interaction with the city official,
That's
and they can
interesting.
actually share all their ideas and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that is one of the big initiative we have done.
Yeah.
Another one was we have actually done a big event in Frisco called Cricket with Shani,
Uh-huh.
and we actually have like the city officials play cricket,
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
we have the fire officials come in and play cricket, and we have all the kids actually. This is one of the interesting thing when we did Cricket with Shani is that day was very cold,
Uh-huh.
and we had a lot of kids, young
Uh-huh.
kids, come in excited and they wanted to go play cricket. And again, like what is happening is bringing the community together. That's exactly what we have done
That's
as a part of the
absolutely
Indian
great, yeah.
Affairs. And we are also like, helping people if there's any need. We're trying to like use
Uh-huh.
our affairs committee to help the mayor and the city, and then also the community on what events we should
Yeah.
focus on. If there's an event happening in Frisco where we can actually have the officials go,
Right.
so that way there's a lot of
I
exposure.
like that idea. As you mentioned, being first generation, that's very important that the people get integrated very well, especially the kids and everyone gets together and they know the city official. Also, it's a good idea. You don't have to send out an email to somebody, but you have a Frisco mayor right there, so you can ask him directly the
That's
questions.
exactly it. That's a
So
big difference maker.
That's a big
absolutely.
difference maker,
Yeah.
definitely. And you also are a part of the Frisco Citizen Bond Committee. And tell us something about what does the bond committee do? How does it work for the city as well as how does it work for the citizens of Frisco?
Sure, absolutely. So the Frisco Citizens Bond Committee is actually, I think it happens every 5 years. And the whole idea of this Frisco Citizens Bond Committee is they lay the foundation or the planning along with the city officials of the infrastructure for the city. So roughly, I would say the estimate for the bonds for City of Frisco would be around like $261 million for the next 5 years. And the city council actually brings in 12 members who are Frisco city residents from different background. And these 12 members, what they do is like they actually work with the city officials and city manager, and they also listen to all the departments. Like for example, the Frisco Parks and Recs, we have the Frisco Police, Frisco Fire, and then also Public Works. All these committees come in and present what their needs are for the next 5 years.
Right.
And they also looking at like how much funding they would need for the next 5 years.
Right.
So this committee, and I'm one of them in that committee, we are listening to the city officials and we are actually help plan it. And we are going to present that to the city council. And then the city council decides which propositions can go for voting in the month of May.
Right.
So the people can vote on it for the
Right.
next 5 years. So that way the funds can come in and it will help the city to grow.
And they will issue the bond accordingly.
exactly,
And,
yeah.
get the money.
And this is something we're really doing for the city of Frisco. That means like citizens
And
of Frisco
obviously they are
are,
going to benefit.
and
right?
it's their money.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're trying to do on that.
That's great. And your focus, of course, is on public education because 2 of your kids go to the
Perfect,
public
yeah.
school in Frisco. So that is the Frisco Resident Public Education PAC, the Political Action Committee, that was created to help Frisco ISD bond and the TRE, that's the Tax Ratification Election. So can you explain us something about that? And the reason I'm asking that there are a lot of people watching, they're all over the place, they're in different cities. and whatever happens in Frisco, same things can happen, they can get involved. That's the real reason behind asking that question. So tell us something about both of those things,
Sure.
the TRE and the PAC.
So if you look at the city of Frisco, right, as an example, Frisco City has its own budget, and the Frisco ISD being a very huge, they have almost 72 campuses, and they have their own budget. So what the Frisco ISD wanted to do is they wanted to get like the TRE and the bonds approved by the public who is living in Frisco.
Right.
So they went for elections last month, and the whole idea was to get that approved by the public. So what we have done is, as a part of the PAC, is again I'm thankful for the PAC to make me the co-chair there. So we actually took the bonds and the TRE information, and we worked with the ISD and then also the board members of the ISD. We took that information and we went out to the city voters and educated them that why this election is very important.
Right.
And one of the advantage for this election is if the bonds and if the TRE passes, one of the big thing is the Frisco ISD being one of the huge campuses. Almost they have like 72 campuses, and it's one of the big employer in City of Frisco. So it helps to reduce the classroom sizes. It actually helps the teachers get more pay.
Right.
And then another thing is it also helps to allocate funds for higher security with the things happening now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Enhance security, and then also create advanced technology, and then also Frisco population is growing, and then when there is more people migrating into Frisco or moving into Frisco, we need additional school.
Absolutely.
So what we have done is we took that and we actually went to the voters, and we have created events, like we have created like events at homes, we have created events at different locations, and that actually helped the voters to get educated. And then when they went in for the elections,
these things too, they need a lot of education to see that what is the money you're voting, or how is it going to be allocated, where it's going to be, how it will improve the quality of the schools, and can get the best teachers out there. So that's very interesting, but it's a lot of work on your side. So I'm glad you taking the baton and working hard.
No,
so that is great.
Jay, you made a great point, because education for these type of elections, like propositions and everything, is very critical, because when the elections happen, these two bonds and the TRE, they're the last two items on the ballot.
Right.
So a lot of time people would just go and vote straight whatever the party they belong to, but we needed to educate them that, hey, you know what, these two elections are all the way down at the bottom, so please scroll down and then please vote, whether yes or no based on your education.
That's right.
And that's the thing, we kind of help the people, so that way.
Right.
And luckily, I think it really got approved.
Yes.
And we are really happy that it helped the teachers and the students.
That's definitely.
And the parents who are living in the city.
Usually it's a win-win situation for everybody too, because if you're living there, automatically it's going to reflect on your property prices too once your schools are good.
Exactly.
So that's a good, great thing. And I think you're doing a lot of service along with that. You are also involved with a lot of non-profit organizations. So tell us something about the non-profits you're involved with and how they are making a difference.
Sure. I just want to thank my dear friend Gopal Punnangi. So he runs a non-profit called Shubham Foundation.
Yes. Yeah.
And with his, non-profit, we were lucky to get involved with the GDAS cancer. And what we have done is we raised funds for GDAS cancer.
Right.
And my daughter got involved, and she called all our relatives all over
Wonderful.
the US to get the funds raised. And then also another thing we do is this association, the nonprofit association, it brings a lot of classical artists from India.
Okay.
And then what we are doing is we are actually bringing those artists. We're also bringing the city officials to come in as chief guests or the guests. And then we have the citizens who are coming in to, watch this show or watch this artist coming in. So really, what we are trying to do is, with our connections and with the citizen, we're creating these events, and we are actually, one of the things we are trying to do is we are trying to host these events within Frisco in high school auditoriums and everything else. So that way the people who are going to come and watch, they don't have to drive outside of the city, and they can stay in the city.
That makes it easy.
So those are the type of thing. Another association I'm associated with is called Feed a Hero. So what they do is, every Christmas, we actually pick up the food and we actually give the food to the firemen and also the police. And because it's important, because they are working when we are actually taking vacation. So I'm associated with the Feed a Hero. And I'm also, this time what I did is I have actually signed up the fire station on El Dorado in Frisco. And we are responsible to go bring the food and then give it to the firemen, because they are really working hard.
Yes.
God bless them. And all we are doing is a small gesture
because
for their duties,
no matter what the holiday is, they're always working.
They're always working.
They are always on the toes, actually, not just working. So that is great. And we heard from Mr. Gopal Panangi about the Shubham Foundation. So I'm glad you're involved and doing a great. So again, one more question I have not asked you yet is about your profession. You have a startup and you're an entrepreneur. Some of the entrepreneurs would be interested in listening to about that. What do you do and what kind of company you run?
Sure, absolutely. I think, again, being a small startup company owner actually gives me a lot of flexibility. So I can actually design my own schedule and I can get involved with the community and everything. So Autoboard is actually a customer onboarding cloud-based technology. And we are out there to just solve one issue, which is we are helping companies to automate that onboarding process.
Okay.
So what we are doing is we are working with Western Union and Mineral Tree as two customers, and we're helping expedite the whole automation of customer onboarding, so that way they can go on with their business. Because a lot of times what happens is salespeople close the deal and they think it's done, but it's very important that we actually onboard the customer properly, and that's where you have the customer success. So that's what we are trying to do right now,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So we have learned a lot from Ram about the various organizations, especially with the City of Frisco. So that has been very inspiring for us. Now we want to find out who inspires you to do all these things.
No, I mean, definitely I think there are many people who inspire me, but I would say, just to keep it short, my father and my mom, and then definitely of all, my wife. She's so, she's giving me the opportunity to just go out and then do what I need to do, and then that's a big support. Having that support is a big deal, in order to go out and help in the community.
Yeah, that is awesome. So we heard quite a bit from Ram. It is very inspiring. Again, I really appreciate you sharing that information. That might have inspired a lot of people to do, not only join with you in Frisco if they're living there, but in all the cities. It could be in Plano, it could be Grapevine, Irving, wherever everybody's located. They have the same opportunity, and getting involved, that will be the key. So tell us now, where somebody has a question, where can they reach you? What is it where they can start? Because there are so many things you're involved with in the city. Where can they start? What will be the easiest place to start to work with the city? And where can they reach you if they have any questions? So that is something we want to know, and also you can have a word with all the audience to see what they can do.
No, definitely. I think that's a great question. I mean, first of all, I think the City of Frisco and what we have done as an Indian community in City of Frisco, it became an example. So we were able to pull a lot of people out to help them understand the civic responsibility and everything. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, please, I'm going to give my cell phone number. It's 972-746-5327. And you can either text me or call me, and we can actually, it's just not me, but we have a lot of people behind this, and they can also help you on how we have been successful in the City of Frisco, and we can share all our, experiences with you all. And then another thing is, if you're in a city and you want to do what we are doing, I think the most important thing is, associate yourself with the city officials.
Right. Okay.
Work with the city police. Work with your city fire. Work with your ISD officials, because when you're working with them, I think you can actually make a lot of things happen for your citizen. So definitely, I think, again, please anytime reach out to us, and then we are here to help out.
Wonderful. So that's a great message for everyone. You can reach out to Ram, and of course I'm going to post that number along with this video. Also, we are coming up every Saturday in front of you, so you can join us the conversation at the Facebook page. Also, all the videos are on our website as well as on YouTube channel. Again, I thank Ram, and thank you on behalf of the entire team of Inspiration Masters. We wish you great success with whatever you undertake. And thanks for watching. I will see you in a week.
Thank you, Jay.